Hey, what's up guys? Welcome to my channel, and today in this video we are going to create the editing of a delivery, and while we do that we will also see how writing the tests will really help us do certain kinds of refactoring in our CRUD for delivery. So without wasting much time, let's get into it and see the power of test driven development. So as first step, we will need to create a test which ensures that I am able to see the edit page of delivery. So what I will do is go into my PHP storm. In my page response test, I will add a new test. My new test is it shows the delivery edit page, and what I want to do here is just ensure that the page gives a status code of 200. So like most of our tests, I am creating a project and a delivery for this particular test. I need them because of my routes, how they are configured, right? And then what I will do is so I'll make a get request to deliveries.edit. I'll pass the project, the delivery as parameters because the route model binding will happen, and I'm expecting a status code of 200. Now, obviously, this is going to fail because we haven't done anything. So the first step will be to go into our web.php and have edit, and I will have my update as well because I know that I have to create that as well. All right. With this in place, let's see what happens to our test. It is still failing because it says delivery was not found. Okay, I haven't imported the model. Let me try running it again, and we have a success. So we basically now have a page which will show the delivery for us to edit it. So I can get rid of these two files now because their role is kind of complete. And as part of test driven development, the next step is obviously to create a new test which is inside our pages, page delivery, edit, test. I'll clean this up first. And what do we need in our test? First, let's test the happy path, which will ensure that we are actually able to edit a delivery. So my first test is that I want to ensure that when I go to that particular page, which is my delivery edit, I'm actually able to see that data. So using the factory method, like we had done in our previous test, I have created these two models. Obviously, this is behind login, so this acting as. With this in place, what I can do is make a GET request to our route. I'll pass all the parameters which are required for that route, and then we will assert that we see the title, description, the start date and end date in a particular format, and obviously that it is a success. So now, obviously, this test is going to fail because we haven't written anything. So why don't I go into our delivery controller and add our code over here. So here in the edit, first of all, because of route model binding, I will get the project and I'll get the delivery. What I can do is create this new view, and to that view I will pass like so. Now with this in place, what I can do is this edit blade will be very similar to the create form. So I'm just going to copy this, paste it over here, and make some basic refactorings. So the first thing is this. Now we have to show the delivery title. Now let me open up the form so that it makes a little easy for us to look at it. I have my delivery /1/edit. Okay, so I'm still showing the project, which is fine. Then I'll need to show the title, the description, start date, end date, right? So let's go over here. This is going to be update. I'll need the project as well as the delivery. This is taken care. I'll need to put the patch method because our route is expecting that. Then we have project name, which is fine. Title. Now over here, certain things which are going to change from the create form is that I need to show the values like this. Okay. Then the description, the start date, and the end date. Now, with this done, if I refresh this page, can you see that the entire data is populated? This is happening because my component over here, input date or even the input text, let me open that up. What it does is, the logic is that if I have the value, if I have the old name, then I do that, else I show the value, else I do empty. Now because I have my values, it will show that. However, I would want you to keep one thing back of your mind, that if you see this part of our form, which is the project name, the title, description, start date, end date, right? They are exactly the same in edit and create apart from this value thing. So in some way, if this can be managed, then I can literally have this much of data, or rather the markup, right, completely made common. So we'll see how that can be done and how the tests will be helpful. But for now, what we are expecting is to edit our delivery. So why don't we focus on that? Now I have the form, and if I run this test, now it is passing. So we are basically able to assert that if some user goes to the delivery edit form, then they will see the exact details of that delivery. But so far, we haven't done or written a test which asserts that if we edit, then those edits are being saved. So why don't we add that? So as our second test, what we can do is we write a test that it updates with the new values. So like the previous test, I'll need all of these. Now I'll also need the data that I want to update. So in my arrange, I'll have this dollar data where I have title as new title, description as new description, start date, end date. And what I would do is I'll make a patch request to our route. I can copy this piece. Okay, I'm making this request, and then I'll assert that my database has this entire data, but I'll also need to pass the ID. So what I'll do is I'll do $data and ID equals the delivery ID. So if this query is successful, then it means that I can see a delivery in my database with ID this, and the data is exactly what I have updated, and that's what we want. Obviously, this is going to fail because we haven't written any code for this. So let's go to our delivery controller, and over here we will handle that. We have the request, which is fine, but we will also need the project, and we will also get the delivery. So I have added them as parameters to my controller function. And then the validation rules are going to be exactly the same. So first of all, I will copy that, and then I will just update my delivery. So because of route model binding, I'm already getting the delivery, so I can very easily update with the data. And if once this is successful, I'll just do a return. So I also have the redirect to the route with a success message. Now if I go to my test, this is still not passing. Why is that? Okay, because my timestamps are not correct. So what I would do is, it is expecting this but found this. So the update didn't happen. And I'm wondering why that would be the case. Right, because I haven't sent that data. Okay, it is still failing. And why would that be the case now? Okay, it's still not updating. That's a bit weird. Okay, again, one more mistake. The route was wrong. I guess you guys must have already seen that. I kind of overlooked it. So yes, this is a passing test, which means now if I go to my UI, why don't I go to the test, sorry, projects, and then delivery. Okay, I don't have an edit button. What I can do is go to my index blade of deliveries, and over here have a blank this thing, quick markup changes. So I added this basic thing that I have a TD with div flex, I have a link to the delivery edit, and I have an icon from material icons. So this gives me this nice little thing. Sprint new one, I'll go over here, I'll make it 4. Let's set the date to 22nd to 26th, and hit save. And this is fine. I can see that the dates are changed. Even if I refresh, let's go to the database and see. I have my deliveries table, and I have sprint 4 for 22nd to 26th. So this is what exactly I wanted to do. And as you can see, using test driven development, I created the edit form. But this is not where things end. There are a couple of tests on this particular page. Actually, one more which I would ideally like, which is the validation. Let me quickly add that first. So again, I am creating a project, a delivery as an authenticated user. I'm making a patch request with empty field to this particular URL, and I'm expecting that my session has errors, and that is passing. So this was the simple step that I wanted to do. But now our tests are available, and if I run them, all are passing 123. And now I want to do some refactoring. First of all, some code smells. The validation rule over here is being repeated to make our code maintainable and dry, I can create a request which is delivery request, and my Eloquent model is delivery. With that, I have this request file. So what I will do is, for the create and edit, because we have the same rules, I'll first add this. The request files work is done. Just ensure that your authorize returns a true, or you can have some rules, for example, auth check. This is also fine. Okay, and you can continue to ensure that your tests are not breaking by first going into the create, and instead of request we will do delivery request, and now this data becomes request validated. Okay, let's run all our tests. Everything is no, everything is not passing. So what happened? It is failing. This is kind of fine. What just happened? Is it because this is creating a problem? Okay, so I'll need to check. I guess there must be some middleware related issues. For now, it is authorize equals true, but I can fix that. However, now you can see I have removed the validation from here, and I can do the same thing inside my update request and just update this to delivery request. So now with that, again, all my tests are passing, and you can see I have removed the code duplication by introducing the request class. Fair enough. That is done, out of the way. And I think I would like to bring one point over here is, if you are doing the validation in only one place, let's just say for some reason we are not supporting the update, and if you have done the validation on the controller, to a certain level it is just fine, because it is simple code. You go to the controller and you see that the validations are there. You don't always need to create that request file, because if it is being used only once, why complicate things? However, the moment I saw that the logic is being repeated, at that point you should take that effort to make your code more maintainable, make it dry, and introduce the request class. As I said, my create and edit forms are very similar. So what I will do is, because I have all my values over here from this line, which is the project name, till the end of the button, right? I will copy this, come over here, and I'll delete the markup from the create form, paste it here, and in my create, I'll have a variable called delivery, passed it to the view. Okay. And if I run my tests, only one is failing. And why would that be the case? Let's quickly look at that. Add delivery is failing because format on null. Right. There's only one quick change which I'll need to do is, it is possible that these values will not be present. So 1 and 2. Right. So what I'm doing is I'm passing an empty model. Okay, this is an empty model. We haven't created any entry of the delivery, but those attributes are available. And because of that, this model is able to render itself. Okay, I can still create all the delivery using the field. So for example, test dev This is from 1st till, let's say, 30th. And I can see from 1st till 30th, right? Test dev. So the functionality is working. I made only a certain level of changes. And now, because this form is kind of same, what I can do is go even one more step and cut this from here, create a folder called common form.blade, edit. So now my create will include pages, deliveries, common.form, and the same will be added over here. So now can you see I have reduced the edit and create forms markup significantly. The form is a common element, and if everything is correct, all my tests are passing and the form is working perfectly fine. I can see the create form, I can see the update, and we have significantly simplified our code. And this is the benefit of test-driven development, where even if you're making changes, your tests are backing you. They are giving you the confidence that whatever you have done is not breaking something that was already working. But obviously, there is also the other side, that is, your tests are as good as what you have thought about it and how much coverage you have done to your code. With that in place, I think that's what I wanted to cover in this video. If you like this video, then do click on the thumbs up icon and don't forget to subscribe to my channel.